But we have all the, well, I have all the confidence in the world in your project, and I think it's going to be really great for the community in the long run. Good luck, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Council, I just want to go back to that. And my pen's dying, go figure. Mr. Questenberry said something today, why he was, Missy and Joseph took me out for a birthday early dinner. And a comment came, and I think it was from Joseph that made it. It might have been from Missy because she's smarter than him. But that this is probably one of the more impactful, monumental votes council has undertaken in decades and decades and decades. When this is complete, whether it be 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 years, whatever that is, adding 300 plus homes and adding to our community in so many different ways, it's a big deal. It's a real big deal. So I know this council has taken time to do the due diligence, and I am just awful about patience. I like to get things done quickly, but we took our time, and you guys did the homework, so you should be committed and feel good about your votes. Okay, project updates. Mr. Questenberry, 74 Main.
There are no substantive updates. We did file for a full reimbursement from the USDA program for the $200,000 grant we received, and we did get the full reimbursement check, so that's been nice. So we've closed that portion out, and now we're just working on construction. Obviously you haven't seen a whole lot of work going on, and so we may have to come before you all with some pending things in the future, but right now we're trying to push forward with it.
I'll add just a little bit further to that. This has been a project near and dear to my heart, but it is encountering some issues, and I'm sure it's going to be coming before council very soon to talk about next steps. So just put that on your radar. Okay, well replacement.
Yes, nothing substantive to report on that either. We have updated the loan figures in the proposed budget, so we have that portion taken care of. And our Director of Public Works is assisting me with trying to maybe, seek out developer folks that can help us with this to redig the well at maybe a little bit of a lower cost. So we have not issued an RFP or anything of that nature just yet, but when we do, we hope that we can rally together a few folks that'll put in a bid and we can find a good qualified low bid.
Any questions, council, on the well? All right. The HCD housing project, we have a meeting on the calendar, Ms. Coates.
We do. They have the final bid meeting on February 10th for the 3 rehabs that will be done. I did talk to the PDC today, and they did get a good, valid bid. There was only one. So that is what we'll meet about on February 18th, the rehab board, and then also the management team. So that's coming up, and things are progressing, and they feel good about, they know the contractor that's put the bid in, so hopefully the board and the management team will agree on that.
Council, any questions from Ms. Coates? All right. We are moving right along. New business. Appropriation of funds. Appropriate $150,000 from enterprise fund reserves to the wastewater department for the repair of sand filter system. Jesse mentioned this earlier. We've been fighting these sand filters for a few months now, and these are the original sand filters that were installed in the plant.
2003. 2003, Jesse?
2003.
No,
Or is it newer than that?
newer than that. 08,
Oh, 8 or 9. Okay, I'm
Bill.
sorry.
So these filters have not required to be changed or replaced or anything like that, but now the time has come, and it's anything that's, when you're talking about a plant this large, it's not cheap. That's why we have reserves. That's why we put money in reserves and we save for a rainy day. As much as I hate to do it, you have to do it, right? This is the folks' water sewer plant. We just can't have it not being up to par. So what we feel the pricing is going to be is $150 right now. Joseph, why don't you take over?
Yep, thank you. So right now, it's 16 tons of sand that will have to be taken out of the facility and disposed of properly, just to get to the equipment. So the equipment is underneath the sand, so the sand has to come out, equipment fixed, sand put back in. So right now, if you check it under new business, the total for the above is $129,960, not including freight and not including the disposal. And here they said that we would do that. We're not going to want to do that. So we're going to bundle that all in together. So I'm asking for $150,000 to be transferred from reserves into this expense to cover the cost of that and any other little things that may pop up.
Counselor, any question as to why the expense or anything you'd want to ask Jesse or Joseph?
I just have a question about this filtration system. Is this something that has a lifetime, a lifespan? I guess it's something, or is this just something that because of overuse or underuse that this is being caused?
We really weren't giving a lifespan of these 3 sand filters. Even when we met with Hayward, they really couldn't tell us, and actually it's 16 ton per unit. There's over 40 ton of sand in the ground. And, millions of effluent this sand has had to filter, so we can only imagine that over time it just can't do its job anymore. And, think of these sand filters as like a silo, and at the bottom is a cone. And in the middle you have this plastic pipe that goes down with air. And one night we went to go replace it, and just pulling it out, it broke right in half. The plastic on it got so thin, it's just wore right out. The sand has just wore right out. The plant has 3 sand filters. It needs 2 in operation to get the results that we need to get. Right now we're running on 1. So what we did was we took our effluent flow, knocked it back, so 1 filter could handle the flow. Just a matter of time, really.
So it sounds like it's been about 16, 17 years. So do you think we should budget in like 12 years to replace these?
I would say.
Yeah.
You say it's a piece of plastic pipe that's worn, that's just kind of worn?
You can think of it as a big cylinder, and at the bottom's a cone. It's 20 ton of sand at the bottom-ish. And in the middle, you have this piece of plastic pipe that goes all the way down, and this air goes through it. So that way it moves the sand to filter the water, and then the water comes back up and goes inside the tube and then goes to our UV room. And that plastic is just it's real thin on just the one that we looked at.
There's no other material that would work, like stainless steel or anything like that would work in place of it?
Not that we're aware of. Tappahannock, their sand filter system is above the ground, kind of similar to ours, but we just can't see what we're working with.
I see. Okay.
It's kind of hard to. That quote is they can't see what's wrong until the sand is gone, pitch drained, to even know what we're dealing with. Thankfully, you can do one at a time. Each sand filter has a dedicated valve to shut off. So,
how would we dispose of the sand that's removed?
we have no idea how to dispose of that sand. Theoretically, you'd have it in a drying bed, dry out, and then have some company come in and haul it away. But until we get to that point, we're really looking for a turnkey quote. We're still waiting on a few quotes where we wouldn't have to touch it at all.
So what I would offer is that, a couple things. Because of the size of the expenditure, we're going to have to schedule a public hearing next month to hear from the public, then vote to do the expenditure. That said, we're not waiting to get the quotes and get things ordered. We need to move forward.
Yeah, you can make action on it today because it's an emergency item, and then you would vote to amend the budget next month.
That's the course of action I would suggest to council. We just don't want to play with the sewer plant. Okay. Council, any other questions for Jesse? No? All right. are we agreeable that it's a good idea to go ahead and make the expenditure and schedule, we'll come back and schedule our public, under emergency situation, and come back and do our public hearing and amend the budget? Is that acceptable to council?
Yes.
Yes,
Would someone like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Do a good job, sir. Joseph, let's not waste any time.
No, we'll get together tomorrow, Monday, yeah, or Tuesday.
The next course is item B, scheduling a public hearing for the budget amendment of 150 to increase for the wastewater appropriation. We also, in that, need to schedule a public hearing the same evening for the Rappahannock Community College Health Sciences Building Conditional Use Permit. And also, we're hoping to take care of, the same time, the proposed option to lease certain real property of the town. The property in question, it's the 200 acres for the potential solar farm. So we're wanting to schedule all that for the 13th. That's normally a lot to put in one public hearing, but most of these will be simply formality. We're gonna do the sewer plant, we're gonna do the Rappahannock Community College conditional use permit, and we've already approved the preliminary approval for the solar solar arrangement. So, we're gonna need any discussion on what we need to do for a public hearing. Joseph, anything you'd like to add? That's a lot.
Nope, I think you got it, thank you.
So the motion would be to schedule a public hearing to handle A, the budget amendment for $150,000 for the sewer issue, water and sewer plant. B, schedule a public hearing for the Rappahannock Community College Health Services Building Conditional Use Permit. And C, disposal of public property, which will be proposed to option the lease for the solar farm with Dominion. That would be the motion. Is there anyone that would like to make that motion?
Do we need to set a date for that?
March 13th at
March
6 p.m.
13th, yeah. I'll make that motion that we go through with that on March 13th.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, thank you, Ralph.
Yep.
Scheduling Economic Development Committee meeting, Economic Civ Program for the Rise and Set Health and Grocery Store with gluten-free and other specialty items. So do you guys want to handle that offline, or do you want to meet next?
Well, I see the next order of business is F. Could we do it the same day, if agreeable, of the
great.
work session?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably take 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
Perfect.
yeah,
All right, well, you guys do the, yep, okay.
thank you.
Item F, schedule a work session on March 6, 12 p.m. for a budget work session. And you will find at your seats the preliminary budget. For our new members, what we generally do is we meet with Joseph early in the year, and we kind of outline our overall priorities and what we would like to see, what our wish list would like to look like, what our thoughts are on capital expenditures, what our thoughts are on increases and so forth as that, any cuts that we think we'd like to see, and Joseph goes to work putting together the budget. Joseph, why don't you outline to them where you are with this and go from there?
Yep. So the budget is, the draft that I'm introducing to you all is balanced. So really what, we'll go through is I'll go through line item by line item, every single thing, talk about why this is here, why this increased, why this decreased. And then really the big items are, things like if there are raises that are introduced, if there are any tax increases, which there aren't, things like that you'll go through. But yeah, right now it is balanced. It's been tough, again, because some testing equipment at the plant 2 years ago was $20,000 and now it's $65,000, and it's just hard for us to keep taking those on as a really, really small town. But for the general fund, we made it work. We're balanced. We're all good. But everything is balanced in here. And next year, he mentioned UV bulbs. That's the next thing, and those are $130,000. So but I have included that in the budget as well. So we'll go through line by line, department by department. If you look at it just real quick, the blue column was what I budgeted, or what the council adopted, and then what actual, and then budget, actual, budget, actual. And so at FY '26, the proposed is what I have proposed, and then if you adopt, there will be a next column beside that that says adopted. So that's sort of where we're at, and right now, I think this far in the year, we're at 58, we should be at 58% of revenues collected and expenses expensed out. So when you're looking at your financials, all of our revenues are high, so that's good. Just, I think personal property, real estate, and vehicle decals alone are like 60 to 70,000 to the good. So I mean, we're doing well. I just want to make sure that we're prepared for those items like we're having right now. But long story short, I'll just go through that line by line and we'll talk about everything.
Again, just for the new folks, when we do this, like you said, we'll go line by line and we'll ask questions if something doesn't make sense to us. If we want to, if we're passionate about something, we can make our case then, right? And we kind of have a work session, just roll up our sleeves, and at the end of it, Joseph will have a list of things from council regarding the budget that we want him to go back and look at. He'll come back with a final draft, and usually it's right on point to where council would like us to be, and we move forward with public hearings and so forth as that. Does that sound all right? Mm-hmm. What I would suggest is take this document with you. Really riveting information. Yeah. And we'll meet on March 6th at 12 p.m. Will that be fine with everybody? Okay. All right. That's it of our new business. Is there any other business that we need to talk about anyone would like to bring up? It's quiet council night. All right. Well, let's move to closing comments. Miss Rebecca, you're on the end. What would you like to
That
start
was a
with?
great fast meeting. Thank you. You know, I like that.
It's 6:51. We're
That's
late.
awesome. World record.
Faster than
Got a
planned.
lot done in a short amount of time. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
Now, I mentioned before, I appreciate the work of the planning commission. I always take the recommendations seriously, because I mean, why have them if we're not gonna, and I do appreciate the work they put in.
Jonathan?
Give the shout out to the Public Works again for the water breaks and doing all this work in the cold. We appreciate them. I do thank the Planning Commission for spending time on that and making a solid unanimous recommendation. And town employees, every one of you, appreciate y'all. Proud to be a part of it, proud to live here, be from Warsaw.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Mary Beth?
Meeting. It was wonderful to see how they cleaned our roads so nicely. I do appreciate that. And had interested, just what we've been talking about, we've had a really good meeting.
Okay. Ms. Dab?
Yep, I just want to say what a great job the guys did cleaning the town streets, because I mean, when that snow came down, those streets were clean in Warsaw. And a really great job to the town guys for getting those water main breaks fixed as quickly as they did.
All right. Ralph?
I just say another great meeting this evening. Look forward to all the upcoming events and projects and things going on in town. And, you know, we've talked about how this town has grown over the past several years, and looks like we'll continue to grow. And we certainly want to make good decisions for all the people of the town, but we need to make a decision for this town and continue to grow and to prosper. And the main thing is to support our local businesses.
All right. Bobby?
Could I ask the chief a quick question?
Please.
Chief, how is what impacts have you seen from the road diet as far as accidents?
Good question.
So quite a few reduced accidents, because when we had the 4 lanes, they were so tight, just
Right.
like in Tappahannock. They're clipping mirrors all the time, so as far as from the top of my head, I recall, I wouldn't, well, even was there significant, but reduced, at least
That's
clippings.
good to hear.
I think everybody, not everybody, there's always gonna be the naysayers, and I was skeptical myself in the beginning, but once everybody got used to it, it just flows. I mean, we've sat there, we sit at the light sometimes for hours just watching traffic to see how it flows at the request of VDOT. And it seems to be going
I was
well.
completely against it, and I think most of us were, but I watch it every day. It seems to be people are understanding what to do now. And also, I have a new neighbor. She's from Spotsylvania. She moved in to Billy Northern's old place that Mr. Packett had renovated and did a great job doing that. So she's really excited about moving to Warsaw. She loves her house, and she loves everything about the town so far.
Great news.
Yeah, good meeting. That's all I have.
All right. Well, I'll say again, I think the planning commission did a great job. It's been it was really refreshing to see a rejuvenated planning commission kick in, Daphne, and really have meaningful conversations, talk about the different views of it. So just well done leading that. Okay. Folks, big night. Big night. Got a lot coming at us. That said, we are adjourned.
I'm not doing it. I was like, I just want to go.